Hello, and welcome back to The Sober Connection with me, your host, Abi King. Today, I'm joined by someone who is an absolute force to be reckoned with in the sober world. She's built a massive following online with her no nonsense, hilarious, and straight to the point take on alcohol free living. She's a sobriety coach and not afraid to speak her mind when it comes to opening people's eyes to the dangers of alcohol. We're going to be talking about what it's really like to live loud and proud, sober life, the truth about navigating social media with everyone watching, and the lessons she's learned along the way. So today I'm delighted to introduce Dawn Comolly, aka Sober Fish, to you all. Hey, Dawn.
Oh, well, that was really nice and unexpected.
It took me ages to write.
It's really kind, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. I've watched you for a very, very long time. I've been on this my own sober journey for nearly coming up 8 years, and you've been at the forefront of people that I've followed and have been influenced by for that long. So it's been really, really cool to actually speak to you. I know we just said we've been trying to tee this up since July, so it's very cool to finally meet. So
Thank you. No, it's lovely to
yeah,
be
no worries. So, yeah, I just thought we'd start off initially. I mean, I know your sober story. I've seen the photo of you, when the very last photo of you when you were drunk. I think that's quite well known, but obviously some people might not have seen it. So, I just wondered if you could possibly share your story of your drinking career, how it started, how it panned out, and how you got to where you are at now. And you're like almost celebrating 9 years sober, right?
Yeah, in a couple of weeks. What day is it today? Yeah, a
Yeah,
couple of weeks' time. So
amazing, amazing.
yeah. God, where to begin? It's always funny doing this because it's 9 years now. It like seems like such a lifetime ago that I was drinking. But funnily enough, this week, a few things. I went out for lunch with a few girlfriends on Sunday, and I was talking about because I was with them all on my last day of drinking without knowing it was my last day of drinking. And the girl that I was sat next to went, "Oh, you were in a really bad way then, weren't you?" And nobody's ever really said that before. And I said, "Yeah, I was. Like, it wasn't good. My last day of drinking was not good." We basically went away for the weekend. It had become a regular thing. I think we'd done it maybe 5 times. It was drinking from the minute you got there to the minute you went home, and I suffer from, well, I used to suffer from eczema really badly. Funnily enough, cleared up in the last 9 years to almost nothing.
Yeah.
And it was particularly bad that weekend. I was literally covered from head to toe, which I hadn't been for a very long time. And then, of course, drinking on top of that made it worse. I was very over emotional. I was crying most of the time. I mean, it was horrible. And it's just weird that it should come up again this week. And I guess it always does near to a soberversary. You kind of think, thank fuck I'm not there anymore. But yeah, my before photo, I'm actually in fancy dress. I look absolutely horrendous. Um, I've got a wig on, which wasn't actually part of my fancy dress, and I look so miserable because we were acting out resting bitch faces. So I literally look horrendous. And had I known that I was taking my before photo, it probably wouldn't have been at that moment. But it definitely shows how far things have come. I mean, it's one of those that I absolutely hate fancy dress. I've always hated fancy dress, but I always got involved in fancy dress when I was pissed. Now I'm just like, no, I don't, it's just a no. I don't want to do that. I
Yeah.
don't like doing that. But it's really ironic that my day one or my day zero was not at home. It was in a very, pressurized environment with lovely people, but it was very alcohol fueled. um, and then what happened was I got lifted home from a friend, and he hadn't turned up till late because he'd got really bad flu. I sat in the car with him on the way home, got flu, and then went down. And I couldn't drink, I couldn't smoke, and so I had that for like a couple of weeks. And the choice was then, so my date is the 27th of November. The choice was, do I go back to drinking and smoking until New Year, which was when I'd planned to stop, or did I just take it and from there? And to be
Yeah.
honest, I was so ill for such a long time, it just wasn't really on my radar. I wasn't interested in Christmas parties. Christmas was tough because it was just like, I'm not feeling well. So yeah, my journey started 6 weeks before it was supposed to.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's interesting. A lot of people, I mean, I'm sort of doing the coaching thing now too, and I'm sort of trying to promote like a pre-Christmas coaching special because I'm like, you don't have to wait till January, but I know like the a lot of people will be just thinking, oh, I'll just leave it till the 1st of January and I'll just do dry January and then kind of go from there. But it's like if you can get through that festive season and that Christmas and New Year's and everything, you're so far ahead already, like when you actually start on the 1st of
Yeah,
January, right? It's
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
and
yeah,
that's cool.
'cause I had 6 weeks in the bag, so by the
Yeah,
time I
yeah,
did dry January with people, I was like 10 weeks. But
yeah,
the enormity of what I'd done, and that I told everybody what I was doing, and that because I set a target for a year when I got to dry January, so I'd done my 5 6 weeks, whatever it is, and I was just thinking, oh God, I've made a massive mistake. Like that felt like a really long time, and I haven't
yeah,
technically really started yet. Like, what am I going to do? Yeah, it was just, I just remember, I mean, Christmas was really hard, and I'm honest with people, and it's not easy, especially in the UK. Christmas
mhm,
is not about all the things it should be. It's about getting hammered.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it is really hard. But once I'd done the first one, when I got to then the second one, knowing had already got one in the bag, I then started designing Christmas to be better for me.
yeah,
So I don't, well, this year I'm not even going to be here, but I don't go out Christmas Eve, which had always been our, the drinking night, getting in the mood. I just
yeah,
don't do that anymore. Christmas Day, I just love getting up in the morning, going for a walk. I kind of join Park Run. I obviously don't run with them, but I love going down. It's great atmosphere. Um, I like being home in the evening by myself, kind of all done, and and
yeah,
it's just a different type of Christmas, but it does
yeah.
take a while to get in the zone of not having a hangover, which is, I mean, that is the best thing about it, is not feeling constantly shit.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I always think like I think the first Christmas that I had sober, I wrapped the Christmas presents like 2 weeks before, as opposed to on Christmas Eve with a bottle of wine, like actually getting to the point where I can't be asked wrapping this anymore, so I'm just gonna put them in a sack and then the
Yeah,
sack is the wrapping because I couldn't be bothered, like just yeah, I'm actually so much more, for the kids it's so much better now. I mean they're older now anyway, but yeah, just that waking up in the morning and not being hungover is, yeah, I mean, it never gets old, right?
that's right,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So when did you start drinking? Like what was your earliest memory of getting on the piss? I mean, I started when I was 14, so I mean,
I,
most UK kids.
yeah, I think definitely it wasn't 16. It definitely wasn't 18. I would say 14. Not getting drunk, but having a drink, or trying stuff out. But I was always sick. Always, from the first time that I got drunk, I was sick, and to the last time that I was drinking, I was sick. And it just became acceptable that that's what happened. Oh, Dawn's
Hmm.
sick. Oh, she's not coming out. Or she's not. That last weekend I stayed in my room all day. We paid a fortune for this accommodation, and I just couldn't leave my room. So it was a massive reason why I decided to stop, because I was just wasting so much time being ill. So a
Mm,
night out would equal a whole day of recovery. I wasn't a daily drinker because I literally couldn't even keep water down the next day. Like when people say hair of the dog, I was never a hair of the dog person because I couldn't keep anything down.
yeah.
And it was just the time. I was just really, and I'd started not, I don't like to say lying, but kind of bending the truth. Like when people would say, oh, what are you doing on Saturday night? If I was out Friday, I'd be like, oh, yeah, no, I can't do that, because I've got something to do. Because I knew that there's no way I could do 2 nights in a row, because the first night would have wiped me out. And you just
Yeah,
start
right.
thinking, is this right? Is this normal? And it's not, but you also can never imagine this life until you're in it, can you? It's really
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
to explain to people. We were talking earlier today, and somebody, some we just talked about a comment that somebody made and said, what do I do all day and all the rest of it, and somebody in my group said, Oh yeah, I used to see you. Used to drive me nuts. Like you were like so happy and in my feed, and it just I'd be fuck off, and it's like I just think kind of lost my train of thought there, but yeah, you can't sell this life to people when they're in the midst of drinking because they're just like nobody can be that happy, can they?
Mm,
No one
yeah,
can, but you actually
not without
can.
a drink in their hand. Yeah, yeah. No, there's definitely it's hard. What were you like with so for me, like a sober person, when I was drinking, because I was a daily drinker, a sober person to me, like I didn't. I've talked about this before. Like it was awful. Like I didn't trust them. I thought I was like, there's no, like, what are you up to? Like, why are you even here? Like, if we were out somewhere and there was a sober person there, I would distance myself. I didn't want to be anywhere near them. I would never speak to them. Like they were just, what are you up to? Like, what were you like? Like, that's just awful now because I just, I'm actually quite okay now that I'm sober. But yeah, what was your thought about sober people? Were you the same or?
I was a pusher. I wouldn't give
Oh,
up.
okay.
I literally could not understand anybody that wouldn't drink. So I was really bad. I actually apologised to one guy that I used to work with. He'd been sober the whole time I knew him. He's still sober now. And I didn't really, I've never done AA, so I didn't know about making amends, but I have kind of made amends with people by accident because I reached out to him and I just went, I'm so sorry that every year, because I used to organise the Christmas party, and every year I'd literally be hanging off of him going, just come to the Christmas party. And he'd be like, no, I don't want to come. And I just couldn't understand it. I was like, it's free. There's free drinks. I know you don't drink, but you can still drink something else. And now I look at it and go, I would literally be like, no, I'm not interested. So I did reach out to him, Chris, if you're listening. Thank you for being understanding. But I just said, I'm so sorry. For like 10 years, every single year, he must have just been like, oh God, here she goes
Well, here she
again.
comes again.
Yeah. Or I'd be, if I went out with a friend and I was drinking and they were driving, I'd spend the whole dinner like, oh, just leave your car here. Or you can get the bus in the morning, or I'll pick you up and take you here to get your car. And yeah, so I was bad. I was the ultimate pusher. And I guess I didn't want to drink alone. You want to drink with somebody
Yeah,
else. It validates what you're doing. So yeah,
yeah,
I was
exactly,
I was
exactly. I think
suspicious.
it just you were suspicious too. Yeah, I think it just shines a light on what we don't want to face. Really, it's like clearly it's us that have the problem, not them. And they're just they're just quite sort of quietly observing the carnage that just used to follow me around for sure. So
I think that's
yeah.
quite powerful. You know, one of the first meetups that I went to, there were so many sober people who we were so loud that I'm sure people were like, "Oh my god, how much are they going to drink today?" Because, I just we're all the people that people don't expect to give up drinking. Like people didn't believe me at all. They were literally like, "There is absolutely no way that you are going to give up alcohol for a year." And I know
Yeah.
there's still people now that are like, I can't believe she's still not drinking. Um, but that's the power, I think, because when you're somebody who has drunk a lot and is the life and soul or the jester of the party, and you make a lifestyle choice to do something like we've done, people then look at it and go, oh, like that's quite mad
Mm.
that they could do that. So maybe I could
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. 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 Opens up the possibilities to other people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely. Yeah. So how did Sober Fishy come to life? So you've got your little Sober Fish tattoo, and like it's quite a brand now. It's kind of like what you're known as. It's like, I guess, I introduced you as Dawn, aka Sober Fish, and when I had Sober Dave on here, he was Sober Dave, not Dave Wilson. So yeah, how did that all come about?
So I was nicknamed Fish at school. Um,
Okay.
Basically after a fishwife because I had such a big gob. And then it was fishwife, got shortened to fish, and then I got sober. But then I didn't realise people were like, "Oh, are you called fish because drinks like a fish?" And I was like,
Drinks
"Oh
like a
no,"
fish.
but that's what people think
Yeah.
it was. But actually, it was just my nickname. and I got sober.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And how, yeah, so you've got like a massive following on Facebook, mainly on Facebook, is it?
Yeah.
Instagram a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, my
Um,
Instagram, yeah, Instagram is not, well, Facebook was my baby. That's where I started. And that kind of
yeah.
has always taken off. Instagram's always been slightly more different because I guess because I'm more known for my writing. And Instagram, when
hmm
we first started, was more pictures, wasn't it? It was more
Was just
visual, wasn't it?
photos. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
guess
think
Facebook, I guess back like sort of 9 years ago, Facebook was the main one that we all used, wasn't it? But
yeah.
yeah, I guess it's sort of changed around now. So how do you you know, like obviously you've got a huge following and you know, you are unapologetically yourself with some of your, you know, with most of your posts. Yeah, they always crack me up of the things that you share. But how do you balance authenticity with the inevitable online backlash that you do get? And I see that regularly, that you get a lot of backlash. How do you balance that?
I actually think I don't get a lot, to be honest. I know I'm
Okay.
picking out, because at the moment I'm doing top twats because I did a top twat post one Monday just sharing some of the comments, and it's kind of like people keep going, "Oh my God, it's my favorite thing of the week." And it's like, "Oh my God, it became a thing." Like, how did that happen? It's funny what on social media becomes a thing, you know, because you're just like, it was just a stupid idea that, and now it's become, I'm collecting troll comments, whereas before they would have upset me and I'd be like, delete them, don't ever want to see them again. Now I'm like, oh, I haven't got enough this week to share. I actually think, based on the size of my audience, touch wood, I'm really lucky. Most people are very kind, and you know, I think if you're following my page, you've got to like swearing, like truth, um, like seeing photos of me. You know, I will get people saying, God, all you ever share is photos of yourself, which you're kind of like, okay, well, what would you like me to share? Because it's my page.
Yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, I think I'm quite lucky in one respect, but I do get a lot of, unfortunately, sorry, men, it's a lot of men comments. I would say 95% are from men. And they could just be quite vicious sometimes. And you're kind of like, oh my God, I can't believe that you would come onto somebody's page and feel the need on a public page as well, where your friends and family can see what you've written. And
mm,
that's why I share them, because I'm like, they're on a pub. It's not like they're on, they're privately messaging me. They're actually writing these things on my page. But I
yeah,
also think, you know, I remember somebody once shared something I'd written against their own name. I think they just didn't understand how to use Facebook. I don't think they were stealing my stuff. And I remember getting really upset about it. Like, this person has used my words, and, you know, what do I do about it? And then somebody said to me, you know, it's an honor when people share your things and or notice your things. And I think it is, isn't it? You know, if they want to say something, actually, I'm being noticed, which is what we want. You know, we want to share
yeah,
the sobriety message. That's the essence of the page. And
yeah,
the more people who comment, the further the message goes. So
mm,
I try not to, I don't get upset anymore. In the early days, comments like I received sometimes could have and did actually floor me, like I was going to leave social media. Um, but now I think it is time. I think it's unfortunately getting used to criticism. You know, one of the most common things is, if you choose to put yourself out there, then you've got to take the rough with the smooth, which I don't quite agree
yeah,
with, because I think I don't have to do anything. Um,
mm,
I don't interact with people. A lot of people use comments as like rage bait. You know, I could share them and then people could get angry about it to get more views or whatever. I don't do it for that. What I do it for is to show people, actually, there's another side to this. You know, you see what you see. You know, something flips up, you look at it, you make a decision whether you like it or not, whether you're going to comment on it, and you move on. But actually,
yeah,
there's a whole world going on behind of me like batting people up the door, like, you know, and I'm constantly watching, because I don't want my page to be full of people like that. I want my page to be really
mm,
positive. because at the end of the
Yeah.
day, what I'm trying to sell, and I don't mean that monetary, but I'm trying to show people that this is such a great way to live. And actually, if you can get through the first few years, you're free for the rest of your life.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah,
So
definitely.
if
Yeah.
somebody commenting something negative and their partner sees it and their partner's struggling with alcohol, then we've got another person on board. So it's not as bad as it used to be emotionally, which I'm really
Yeah.
pleased about, because it wasn't nice in the early days, when you're just finding your feet.
No. Yeah, yeah,
That's just
right. Yeah,
more
yeah.
like
You got to, I mean,
trolling.
I guess you got to get, yeah, the whole sort of keyboard warrior thing, eh? It's like would they say that to your face? If they saw you in the street, and the service that you're providing is, and anybody that's in the, sober influencer sphere, that we're not, not that I'm saying that I'm an influencer at all, but it's not to show off, and it's not to, it's actually just to bring more people into this side of living. It's actually a positive thing, right? It's not, we're not doing it just to, look at us over here having a great time and you're still over there drinking. It's actually, we want you to come over and like, look how amazing it can be. So yeah, it's, but I guess you're always going to get keyboard warriors, and the more popular you get, the more likely that is, isn't it? So
I
yeah,
mean,
it's a shame.
it is a shame. But I also look at it and think, I'm hitting so many people now. I don't even know how many people I'm hitting now, because
Mm.
there are a lot of people who won't like the page or who won't ever comment. I always remember
Yeah.
you'll probably know where it is in New Zealand. I can't remember what it was called, but many years ago, I got a message from somebody after I'd got a bit of hate comments, and she messaged me and said, I'm at the furthest island off New Zealand, so I'm probably the furthest away that I can be. And I just wanted to let you know that you reached me here. I've got goosebumps
Yeah,
saying it.
that's
And I
cool.
was just literally like, oh my God, I just hadn't even thought about that before. Like, the eyeballs that I'm hitting that I will never know about. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
almost can't think about that sometimes, because if you think about it too much, it would just weird you out. You'd just be like, oh
Yeah.
God, it's just too crazy. But the other thing I was going to say is, when I get up in the morning, I spend 2.5 hours doing what I do to get my content out there every single day. And sometimes, and I'm not asking for people to go, oh my God, that's amazing. I just sometimes think people just don't have a clue. They don't have a
Mm.
clue. They just wake up in the morning and go, oh, she's posted again. That's nice. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I've carefully thought about what I'm doing, got the picture, got the images, found the words. I don't write anymore. So that a lot of it's old writing. But it takes a long time to get to that
Mm.
point that they then look at it. And I think that's why I got frustrated with the person that asked, what do you do? Like, it's like, I don't just wake up, bash a few posts out, and then get on with my day.
Yeah. Just lounge around in my bikini for the rest of the day. Which you can do soon.
which I
Which you
can
can
do.
do soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Very jealous of that. So, you're have you ever sort of second guessed anything that you post, or is it just do you ever kind of think like, oh, maybe I shouldn't post that, or do you just hit the fuck it button and just send it?
I do. Generally, I send. I'm just trying to think of like an example of when I wouldn't say something. After doing it for this length of time, you can almost guess what's going to happen. But I think most of my posts land quite well.
Yeah.
I think sometimes, for example, I wouldn't put anything political, but some of my
Yeah.
posts, let's say with the C word posts, might attract comments about political people, let's say. And then
Yeah.
it goes off on a complete tangent. And that's not what it's about. Like, I don't want
Mm.
it to become an argument about politics in the comments, but that's hard these days because politics is ruling everybody's life. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't put out there something about that, for example, in order to have an argument, because I've got like I say, apart from when I'm lying in my bikini, I've got other shit to do. And when something goes out of control, it's really hard to monitor it, especially, I've got a job as well. So it's
Hmm.
like, I try and put stuff out there that I know will resonate with people, but hopefully not cause too much upset.
Yeah, yeah. I know my one of my best mates, she's a Kiwi chick and she absolutely loves your posts. I just messaged her and said, oh, I'm just doing a podcast recording. I'll message you later, but I haven't told her that it's you. But yeah, I'm gonna tell her afterwards. But she whenever you do a C-bomb post, she's like, check this chick out. She's always sharing your posts with me. I'm like, yeah, I know, I've seen it too. But yeah, she loves it. I mean, some people love it, right? But and then other people just don't. But like you said before, it's that decision that we make to either just keep on scrolling or let it affect you for the day, like it's not worth it, right? So yeah.
Most people understand that if that's, if you've come into the page and that's part of it, then it must be linking you for a reason. So most
Yeah,
people are okay. But the people with the C word is just such a Marmite word. It's absolutely hilarious.
yeah,
Some
yeah.
people are literally like they can't even spit my name out because of it. But it has helped pass on the message,
Yeah,
not the message
yeah,
of sobriety, just the message of soberfish. And then
yeah,
if that's what attracts them, and then they're like, oh, actually she's talking about sobriety, and it creates curiosity,
yeah.
then it's winning.
That's winning. Yeah, exactly. That's what you want. So, what advice do you think you would give to somebody that wants to share? There's a lot of people that share their sober stories and their sober journeys online, but also a lot of. I mean, I did it for accountability. So I set up my page when I was about 80 days in, and a lot of people do it, and then but a lot of people don't do it because they're worried about judgment. What would you say to people that are sort of nervous about sharing their story? Because obviously there's a lot of people, and I just think that they're the bravest people ever who post and then they have a slip up and they disappear for a while and then they come back and they're like, we're back and it's day one again. And it's just so cool because I had a million day ones, but there's no way that I was so ashamed that I would never have posted that on social media, but I love the fact that people do. What's your thoughts around that?
I watch people sharing, but not part of a group. And I think
Yeah.
you need both. I think it needs to be I particularly watch people on TikTok who maybe don't know about the Facebook community. When you're watching and you're kind of like, that's their thing. I think younger people, especially on TikTok, they see people sharing their journey. So they go, oh, I'm going to do that too. But they're still on
Hmm.
their own. They're not, they haven't, they're building their own community without realizing it. But I also worry that in early sobriety, when you then have an audience that is relying on you and keeping you accountable, but they're also fragile, that it's a really,
Yeah.
it makes me feel uncomfortable. But I also
Right.
think fucking good luck to you. Like, if you're brave enough to do it, go for it. But when I look at my journey, I decided to share when it wasn't really a thing to do. But I was
Mhm.
in Club Soda for at least my first
Oh
year.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
going along, so I was sharing in there, and I was sharing on my page. My page didn't really go anywhere for a really long time, but like for years, it didn't really. It was just there. It was like my online diary, and then suddenly it started, and then recently it's just gone crazy. But I think group support is really important as well. And the other
Mm.
thing is, if you are in early sobriety and thinking of setting up something, just be really careful about the support. Like, when you're all in early sobriety trying to support each other, I think it's really hard. I think you kind of
Yeah.
need some longer term people who can kind of see what's going on. um
Yeah. Right.
because what I see is sometimes people give other people permission to drink. It's kind of like, oh well, if they've had a drink, if they think they can moderate, then maybe I can moderate too. It's a bit like a
Mm.
domino effect. And I just say to people, you've got to stay in your own lane. Whilst what other people are doing is great, you've just got to do what you are doing and stop worrying about where everybody else is at, because this is just
Mhm.
you versus you.
Yeah.
um I also think that it can be really hard if you've put yourself out there, and you slip up. But for me, it was the main reason that I didn't, because I knew
Yeah.
you know, my date is so important to me. It's why I will never drink again. I don't want another day
Hmm.
one, you know, and I don't
Yeah.
want my date to change. I mean, it'd be a ridiculous thing for me to do drink now, because my business and my life and everything is based around sobriety. And
Yeah.
funnily enough, I had a dream only, I think it was last week. I always have this reoccurring dream that I've drunk, but I can't tell anyone. And it's like, and I wake up going, did I? Oh God, I've just, what am I going to do? My life's a mess.
Yeah. Those drinking dreams, they're a bit disconcerting. I haven't had one for a while, but yeah, I remember waking up just in a cold sweat, just, and just be, I think my daughter, I was probably maybe 6 months sober, and she came in, she got up one morning, she's like, Mum, I woke up, and she was crying, and she said, I dreamt last night that you were drinking again. And she was sort of, yeah, would she have been, maybe like 12 or 13 at the time? And it was just, that was pretty hard, because it was, obviously my drinking did affect my kids, and I've talked about it quite a bit, but yeah, the fact that she woke up 6 months after I touched a drop, and
Wow.
dreamt that I was pissed, and she'd woken up and she was really, really upset about it, and I had to kind of really convince her that I was, no, I'm fine. So yeah, but that's that's the power of how much it affects the people around you, though, too. Hey, but yeah. What kind of people tend to come to you for coaching? With that join your sober fishy community, or
So my community is for long-term sobriety. So I'm very clear that the rules are, you need to be here for good.
yeah.
Obviously, that can sound quite scary if you're like, I'm just going to give it a go. But for me, my results work when we take alcohol off the menu.
Yeah.
So, I don't have repetitive day ones in my group, because most people, by the time they come to me, I think they're probably quite scared hearing about the group to start off with. Like,
Hmm.
taking alcohol off the menu for forever is a big thing when you're sober curious, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the people who I have success with, who have often tried again and again and again, have had repetitive day ones, they need something that doesn't kind of give that get out clause. I know
Hmm.
there's other programs out there that kind of do data points and things like that. And so I often have a lot of people who've tried that, and because they were given the leeway, they end up drinking again. So
Yeah.
with it, obviously, if people drink in the group, they are encouraged to reach out, because that's what the group is for. It's a support group. But the rules are very clear that the aim should be long-term sobriety. When
Yeah.
it comes to coaching, interestingly, I very rarely talk about drinking.
Okay. Yeah.
The people that I tend to work with have been in my group and done other products before they get to coaching. And it's then about digging around the reasons why they were drinking in the first place. So I
Yeah.
tend to coach a lot on relationships, work issues, childhood issues, just all the stuffing around why you were drinking in the first place.
Yeah.
And so it's really
Yeah.
interesting, because I don't really advertise myself as a sober coach, because it's not really about that. It's about the real deep work as to how people are going to remain sober going forward.
Yeah, yeah, right. I had a session with a lady a couple of weeks ago, and we didn't talk about booze at all. And I said to her at the end of the session, like, it was an hour-long session, we haven't talked about your drinking at all. We've talked about all the reasons why you did, and then the next session I had to sort of, because I do say I'm a sobriety coach, but we were getting quite deep into a few things, and I had to kind of pull us both back and say, okay, we're going to actually just bring it back to the drinking, because I'm not qualified enough to talk about this stuff. So but it was really interesting. Yeah, but I just posted about her yesterday. She started off with me and was drinking, and only just has done her first week after a few sessions with me. She's just done a week sober, but she has had that mindset shift of, I don't drink anymore. And so when she gets that craving, she just says, no, we don't drink anymore. And that's enough to shut the craving down, which is just such a, like, that's so cool. Like, I was just
That's
really stoked
amazing.
with
Well
that
done.
she's, Yeah. So no, but there's always reasons why we drink, right? It's not just because we like the taste. There's that underlying reasons.
I think that was
Yeah.
like the
Uh,
biggest, I mean, it's the biggest thing really, isn't it? When you find out that it was just, I mean, I always say that alcohol was just the top of a very massive iceberg for me.
yeah.
And but
Yeah.
also because I mean there was club soda when I was getting sober, but there were some other groups that don't, most of them don't exist anymore, but there wasn't the community that there is now. There wasn't the alcohol
Mhm.
free drinks that there is now. There wasn't
Yeah.
coaching, you know, there wasn't all of this stuff. And I'm like, this is a great time to get sober now, because you've got so many tools in place. If you really want it's never going to be easy, but it's easier when you've got
Yeah, definitely.
communities to choose from, people to work with to choose from, a whole variety of drinks that you can have, people writing books, you know, there's so much now. You can literally feed off it, can't you? You know,
Yeah.
whereas I
And you've
think when
even
I look
got
back up, sorry.
oh, I was just going to say you guys have got like alcohol free bars now. Like that's incredible. That's a long way off in New Zealand. That's not going to happen anytime soon. But I'm always looking over in at the UK, just going, wow. Like there's the place in Dublin, I think, and there's heaps of them all around the UK, isn't there? So it's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think just not feeling
There's one in
ostracized.
Birmingham.
And what's that? Sorry.
There's one in Birmingham. I think I saw
Oh, is
something
there?
there. I think it's new. Yeah.
Yeah. I think just that feeling, not feeling like an outsider and that you're feeling catered towards, it makes the whole experience so much easier, right? And I know, like for me, I was trying to get sober in small town New Zealand where everybody around me drank, and the only beers you could get was Heineken Zero or Amstel, or just really just awful drinks, and it just made it just so much harder, and yeah, the options now are incredible. So
Oh,
yeah,
good.
that's
That's funny because I was
just very
talking
cool.
yesterday about when I first set up my my Facebook group, not the page, the actual group, which was 2019. I remember there was a lady from New Zealand who came into one of my first coaching groups, and she was rare. It was rare, like
Yeah,
in New Zealand,
yeah,
and that's only five
yeah,
years ago. You know, so it's
yeah,
really
yeah.
interesting. You know, we kind of had the snowball here, but I do think the snowball is definitely rolling on your side of the world just as fast as it did here. Yeah, I mean, that lady couldn't get any drinks, like you said. You know, there was
No,
just nothing. There was no
yeah,
groups in New
yeah.
Zealand and stuff like that. So yeah, it's changing for you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've tried to set up. I know that there is a Facebook group called Sober Kiwis, but it's just very quiet. Just there's still just that stigma attached here. It's very hard to find support, and I've tried to set up social events and things like that, and just no one's turned up. So it's
Oh, what a
you've got to
shame.
kind of, yeah, it is a shame. I feel like it's changing, and people are definitely a lot more curious, but it's still at that curiosity stage. It's not at that wanting to make the final step to actually do it. It's yeah, so it's hard, but it's okay. I mean, it'll change. It's
It will.
definitely it's getting better, but it's not, I mean, it's nowhere near what it is in the UK, so that's for sure. But anyway, how do you help people who say that they just don't think that they can have fun without drinking?
Well, I just always go, do I look like I'm having the worst time of my life? Literally, I
Yeah,
just don't really understand how people can look at my life and think that's not worth having, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, my life has changed a lot. I'm not as sociable as I used to be. You know, I used
Hmm.
to love going out all night and not coming home. And I, you know, staying in, if I stayed in on a Friday night, I'd feel like the whole world had ended, like, and everybody else was out having a good time and hadn't invited me, kind of thing. Whereas now, if somebody invites me to do something on a Friday night, I'm like, oh, God, really? I did, you know, I'd rather just.
I know. Well, I actually thought when I asked you if we could do this at like, what is it, 8 p.m. for you, I thought, oh, hopefully
It's
it's not
10
too
to
late.
9. 10 to 9. You're pushing it. You're pushing it.
I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. Thank you. What surprised you most about life without alcohol? What did you not expect to love or hate? Or either of those? I mean, I don't think you hate anything. I think you're a poster girl for like a very, very successful sober life. So what surprised you that you really, really love about
Oh,
it?
I was happy. Like I didn't. The whole reason I set up the page was because I thought it was going to be so awful that it would be something that kept me going, talking about how shit my life was. Literally, I just saw darkness ahead of me, and so I suppose what surprised me the most is that it wasn't dark and gloomy like I thought it was going to be. Um, and I guess I was lucky, being in Club Soda at the time. They did meetups and stuff. I did get to the point. I was like, I need to find sober people because it is lonely when you first start off,
Mhm.
when all of your friends are drinking. And I haven't persuaded many people that I know. My sister-in-law is 2 years sober, which is amazing. But apart from like friendship groups and things, I don't think I've really influenced people. I've influenced people to maybe cut down, but not stop.
Yeah.
You just kind of feel like, I just remember thinking, oh, is this it? Like, it can't carry on like this, so it has to be something else. And I think it was getting to know myself, realizing that I probably wasn't even the party animal. Well, I know I wasn't the party animal that I thought I was. I think I'd been living this persona that
Yeah.
was fueled by alcohol. So it was like I was the party girl. I was the one who was always out the latest. I was always there. I was always sleeping at someone's house, waking up in the morning feeling like shit. That was my persona. And then you suddenly go, oh, I didn't even really like parties. The reason I got so pissed was because I didn't know what to wear, didn't want to talk to anyone, felt nervous, just all those things. And so for
Yeah.
me, it was becoming who I always think I was, which wasn't particularly the social butterfly that I trained myself to be.
Mhm.
I was always shit at exercise, I was really inconsistent, would do it for a while, then come off of it. And I now walk. I walk every single day without fail, non-negotiable. And I've been doing that. I started that in 2017, I think. So 8 years, still doing it, not bored,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, so actually, I think we do what is expected. So it's like people go to the gym, don't they? Like, no offense to anybody that goes to the gym, but I can't fucking stand it. I never liked it. And when I just released myself from, you don't actually have to go to the gym, it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, so like kind of freeing yourself from the stories that you'd been telling yourself and going, but you don't like the gym. You don't have to go to the gym. Don't go to the gym. Amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
it was those kind of revelations. My other revelation, which I'm sure you'll get onto in a minute, is solo travel. I'd always been another conditioning. I thought I needed a man in life, which was why my scrolling, my drunken texting, all of that shit was all involved with everybody else getting married and having kids, and me thinking, oh God, I'm behind, quick, I need to meet someone. So it's
Yeah.
been an absolute revelation to just drop that and just go, I'm fine by myself. um
Yeah.
and then I think it was for my 6-month present to myself, I bought a ticket to Thailand. And I'd always been waiting for someone to go with. And I just decided I'm going to go by myself. And
Yeah.
it was absolutely life changing. Well, people will see. I don't do anything with that thought of, oh, I need someone to go with, or when am I going to do, when can I do that? When are they going to be free? I'm just literally like, life is too short. You've just got to go and do it. And I think,
Yeah.
I went there, and the moment that I realized that was I got to Bangkok. I hadn't done any what do you call it? I hadn't looked at what I was going to do when I got there, just got there. And I was like, oh my God, this is like bizarre. Well, what do I do? And I just Googled, and I saw it was a place called the Temple of Dawn, something like that. Not Temple of Doom,
Yeah.
Temple of Dawn. And I was like, well, that's where I'm going. So I was like, right, I'm just going
Yeah.
to walk there. put it in my phone, walking through the streets, realised it was further than I thought. Anyway, then I ended up getting on a tube, and I got on this tube and then got to the temple, went up the stairs, and it was really weird because the tube station had been like London, like really busy, and suddenly there was no one there, and I just came up the top and there was a tuk-tuk just sat there. It was like such a weird moment. It was just me and this tuk-tuk man on like this really busy road, and I went, take me to the temple, and he went, yeah. And I had this feeling of, I can do anything. I can do anything. And it was such a pivotal moment, because after that I've never been scared of doing anything ever again, because I'm somewhere I don't know anything about it, on the other side of the world, completely by myself. He happens to just be sat there with a tuk-tuk, which is just weird. So I'm going to be okay. And it's kind of that faith in yourself that you're going to be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Solo travel is I love solo travel. I've done quite a bit of it. I did quite a bit of it when I was younger. My first trip was Thailand. Actually, I went for 5 weeks, and same. I just rocked up. I think I paid for like two nights accommodation in Bangkok, just so that I knew that I had somewhere to stay when I first got there and get my bearings and stuff. And then after that, I was on my own for 5 weeks, just tripping around, just getting into all sorts of trouble. But that was back when I was drinking. I was pissed the whole time. But yeah, Thailand's definitely got a bit of a place in my heart. But there's something about solo travel. I think I'm the same. Like I left my husband a few years ago, and so about 6 months after I did that, I went to Bali by myself, had 10 days over there, and then a few months later I went to Tahiti by myself as well. So that was really cool, and just different at like an older stage of life as well. I'm sort of in my mid-40s, and just knowing it's very different traveling when you're 22 by yourself than when you're 40, 45, 47, whatever, because it's just obviously there's that maturity, but it's just
like
knowing that you have that what's that, sorry?
like a nice hotel.
Yeah, a little bit fancier, but also you just got that confidence, and that sort of that feeling that you can do anything. You don't need anybody to be with you. You can just kind of do what you want, and like I can go there if I want, and I can do that, and if I don't want to do that, I won't do that. So it's it's good. It's a good way of being selfish, I reckon.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll move on to that, because that's pretty exciting. What are you up to in the next month, Dawn?
Getting out of here. So last year, I still work part-time for an employer, and I was 50 last year, and I just wanted to go away and not come back for a while. So I said to my boss, I'm planning on going away and not coming back. What do you think? And he just went, if you can make it work, make it work. And I just felt like he'd given me like the key to the door. Again, another pivotal moment. I thought I was already free, but now I was like completely free. So last year I went to Thailand for 3 months. I was supposed to go for 2, and I extended, excuse me, to 3 months. And it was just, again, another life-changing, I just loved every minute of it. I didn't hate any of it. I just was happy, probably like you are. Like, I just want to wear shorts. I don't need like a coat and boots. And is it raining? Yes, it's raining again. Or it got dark at 3 today. Like, oh God, it's just dying. And I don't want to go for good. I don't mind coming back, because I think it gives value if you come back and get your shit together and go and do it again. So anyway, after asking last year, I said, I went away last year. I want to do it again. And he was cool. So I've actually got a visa as well, digital nomad visa, so I can work. So I go, I think it's 26 days to Thailand. And I'm also going to Cambodia this time as well.
Cool.
And just really, I'm really excited, and I work when I'm there. I do my job, and I do my coaching, and I run my group. Obviously, time zones are a pain in the arse sometimes, but it worked last, again, it's these stories that you tell yourself. You're like, oh my God, what if the business doesn't work? What if the coaching times aren't good for people? What if people don't like it? What if people, I did get a lot of comments about, me swanning around the world. But again, people don't understand that, you're only seeing what I choose to show you. I'm still doing 5-day week. I'm just doing it in sunshine. It's very different, So
yeah,
I
I'm just
feel
doing it in my bikini and a hammock.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But it
yeah, no,
works
that's
really
cool.
well for me because I get up really early. So I'd just get up really early. I'd watch the sunrise every single day, which is really important to me. Whereas here, it's just, God, I don't even know what time the sun rises. Barely
Can't even
rises
see the
at
sun.
all. So yeah, I feel incredibly lucky to, that I work for somebody who's given me the freedom to do it, but also, that
Yeah,
I have spent a lot of time creating this, and this always been a dream. So I am literally living the dream, and it wouldn't be happening if I was drinking. None
yeah,
of it would be happening. So
yeah,
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 it's it just shows, and that's what I want to show people. This is what you can do. Anybody
yeah,
can do it. You can do it.
yeah,
You're doing your coaching now, and who knows where that will take you. I didn't expect
yeah.
it would take me to sunny climes, but luckily it did.
No, that's yeah, it's cool. And so yeah, definitely when I was in Bali, I took the girls to Bali in September, and yeah, there was a couple of days where I just get the laptop out and I go and sit in a cafe, and I was editing a podcast, and then I was responding to some client messages and blah blah blah, and I was like, I could fully do this. This could be my life in a few years' time, and that's my plan too. So yeah, I'm planning to sort of once the kids leave the nest, which isn't too far away, then I'll probably try and do the same thing, just a few months in a warmer place over the winter months, just get away and be in some constant sunshine, which would be cool. But we'll see how it works. I'm definitely watching you from afar, just kind of going, yes, taking notes.
Well,
um,
the aim was always to be completely self-employed. So I feel really good, well, very lucky that I can do another job where, as well, because it kind of
yeah.
just boosts the income, obviously. And
Yeah, definitely. And it just eases the pressure as well, doesn't it? If you've kind of got that anyway, then, and your boss is happy. So are you just going for another 3 months again, or are you going for a little bit longer?
I don't know this time.
Yeah.
Basically, the visa gives me 6 months,
Yeah.
6 months at a time. But I doubt I'll stay for that long. But I haven't got a date of coming back yet. We shall see
Yeah,
what
amazing.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. What do you think? Oh, you probably just answered it, this question. What I was going to say, what's been your most memorable, oh my God, I can't believe this is my life now moment? I guess it's that,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Yeah, those two
Yeah.
things really.
Yeah, no, that's cool. If you could go back and give your day one self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh God, I just see that sad little face, sad little makeup all over my face, crying. God,
I'll have to share it on the show notes so that people know what we're talking about.
horrendous. Um, well, just that it's going to be okay, I suppose. I guess, it's like that question, isn't it? If you could take a pill and become sober, would you take it? And my answer is always no, because I wouldn't be where I am today if I'd just taken a pill and just stopped drinking and hadn't done all of the other stuff that has led me to where I am today.
Mm.
You've got to go through all of that stuff to come out the other side. And I think
Yeah.
that's always the risk on a day one person is, if I'd known how long it took to get to the point that I felt okay, because bearing in mind, when I went to Thailand, that was 2018. So I'd bought the ticket as my 6 month present, but I didn't go till 2018. It must have been a year and a half. Anyway, whatever it was 2018. So I'd been sober for a year and a half by that point. And although I'd had that moment, I still don't think I'd done any work on myself.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
came a lot later. And so it's quite scary for somebody at the beginning Like if you'd said to me, it's going to take you a year and a half to sort yourself out to any vague kind of state that you can, start feeling confident, it would just seem like too much of a mountain
Mm.
to climb.
Yeah.
But I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, that person on that day could never have imagined today for in a
Yeah.
million years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, right? I know for me, it's possibly different because I had like 4 years of trying, so I was, doing 5 steps forward, 10 steps back, and just kind of like constantly toing and froing between drinking and not, and I was learning as I was going, so I was, I felt like a failure to start with, but then I was like, oh no, I was learning that I had to get the knowledge and get the scientific facts so that I would get freaked out, and then that would make me want to quit even more. And so, I was kind of learning from that as opposed to you just kind of like stopping and then that was it. So, but I think it wasn't really until, so I was sober for 11 months and then I left my marriage and that year, so just after my first year and soberversary, that was such a huge year of transformation for me because obviously like I'd completely changed my life and changed the life of my kids and my ex-husband, but I'd moved to a different town and nobody knew Drunk Abby. I was meeting all these new people, and so it was just a complete year of transformation for me, but it was really, really full on and a lot of soul searching and self-awareness and all that kind of stuff that I didn't have before. And then so the last year and a bit, sort of up till now, I'm sort of feel a lot calmer and I'm like a lot more settled, but it's been a roller coaster, that's for sure. But yeah, it's interesting. I think like I always thought that it was just as easy as just stopping drinking and that was it. Like I don't drink anymore, that's it. But it's, that emotional sobriety that they talk about is just, I mean, you're constantly learning that, right? It's just constantly changing. So
I mean,
yeah.
I never intended to give up for good. I was always going to go back to it. It was just supposed to be
Yeah.
a year, and it was to stop me from smoking, stop me from texting, lose weight. Like it was drinking wasn't really the main focus in the beginning. It was for all the other things.
Yeah.
And then you start realizing how it is actually affecting everything, and that actually you can't go back to, I know if not that I will ever drink again, but if I did ever drink again, I know I would then smoke again. I know I'd just go back exactly back to where I was. And it's the same with smoking, like, because I gave up smoking at the same time, which people always ask me, how did you do that? I'm like, I seriously don't know. Like, I
Yeah.
can't believe that I managed to do that. But I think being ill did massively help because it just took it off the menu for me. But, my intention was always to go back on day 365. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that helped me in the beginning because it was like, there was a bit, there were in the distance, I was just going to go back to normal. But at 6 months sober, I was like, I don't want to go, but I have no reason to go back to what I've spent so long getting away from. Which
Yeah.
was that, I guess that was my most interesting thing, actually. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, like, no, actually, this is better.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even
Yeah.
good
That's
then.
cool.
Like now, it's
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Yeah. And look at you now. Yeah. So what are you doing to celebrate 9 years at the end of this month,
I'm going to,
other than jumping on a plane a couple of weeks
well, I'm
later?
actually going on a plane before that. I'm
Oh,
actually
are
going
you?
to
Cool.
go to Iceland on the
Oh,
21st.
cool.
I get back before my soberversary, but not last summer, the summer before, I saw a trip to Iceland from my local airport. It never happens. I woke up, got my phone, and the first thing that I saw, weirdly, was this trip to Iceland. And I was just like, oh my God, I've got, with those dates, I've got to have it. So I've been
Yeah.
waiting for this for like, a year and a half. And
Yeah.
then when I wasn't sure when I was going to go back to Thailand, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just go back to Thailand, sack the trip off, just go out there in October. And I was like, no, like this is a trip of a lifetime. I need to do it. And now I'm so pleased that I've decided to do it. I'm so excited to go somewhere
Yeah.
different. Um,
Yeah.
it's going to be really cold. Snow is forecast. The Northern Lights are really good at the moment. So it's going to
Oh,
be my
wow.
celebration. I get back the day before, but yeah, that's my present to myself.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, that's cool. That's so cool. Um, Thank you so much. I think we'll just finish off with if you could give three little top tips for anybody that's kind of thinking about getting sober, what would you say?
Come and join my group, number one.
Yep.
Just literally flood your mind with sobriety. You know, get the books, read the books. There are so many good books out there, and you can listen to them on audio, you know, and listen to podcasts. I mean, I don't even think podcasts were a thing when I got sober. You know, they kind of exploded about 5 years ago. Yeah, it was 2020.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
when people were at home, really,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, because everyone was stuck at home.
Yeah, that's when I did a lot of podcasts. But literally, I look at it like an education. It's like, if you want to just stop drinking and you just stop drinking, that's fine, but you're not going to be happy, you know, because it's
Yeah.
just going to keep coming back at you. It's like educating yourself about the dangers of alcohol, you know, what other people have been through. Try and find a miserable sober person, because if you look on Instagram or Facebook, people are not miserable, and not that many people could be lying about it. So just literally flood your mind, and just
Yeah.
one day at a time. You know, I'm not an AA person, but best piece of advice ever, you know, just focus small. Because if you start looking, you know, I know I say my group is long-term sobriety, but we work very slowly. We break it down. You know, if you look at forever, if you think I'm never going to have a drink again, it's just too much on days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, just break it into small bits, get through a day, and then the days start to become expensive. You know, if you've worked really hard and you've got 6 months of sobriety, why would you want to go back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get yourself a good coach.
Yeah. No, that's yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. No, that's cool. Dawn, thank you so much. Where can everybody find you? So mainly predominantly on Facebook.
Yeah, it's the Soberfish story on Facebook, Soberfishy on most other platforms.
Yeah.
I think I'm on Threads, Instagram,
Yeah. Or lying on a beach in Thailand.
or lying on a beach in Thailand. Yeah, come and have a look.
Yeah, come and have a chat. No, it's awesome. It's been really, really cool to talk to you finally after a few months of trying. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I'll just finish off. So yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed my chat with Dawn. It's been really, really cool. I've really enjoyed it. So yeah, just have a listen, and well, obviously if you got to the end you've already listened, so that doesn't make sense, but I will see you again or chat to you again next week, and yeah, until then, take care, and we'll see you soon. All right, thanks Dawn.
Bye.
Bye.